Put the one everything that I can. I'm praying for a Bentley and to never go to jail. I'm fresh up out the gutter, I don't know if you can tell. I'm hustling for everything I do for legacy. You can call me any type of day, my dog, I never sleep. The only rule I got is don't embarrass me. I write down my problems, then record it just for therapy. Just for clarity. Old clubs selling out of here to doing stadiums. Gold diggers don't come around, they don't survive my radius. I keep it too real for real, and that's what made me rich. That's what made me rich.
It's week 5 of the NFL, and we'll see Isaiah Pacheco. He really helped drive them a week ago with a 3-touchdown game. It's the Chiefs and the Vikings, and it kicks off next on Madden NFL 24.
And we find ourselves at the stadium that played host to Super Bowl 52, the wondrous U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. Today we've got a Week 5 matchup in store here, as it'll be the defending Super Bowl champions, the Kansas City Chiefs, taking on the Minnesota Vikings. Hi again, everyone. Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. And Charles, you look at this Vikings ball club. And they've lost 3 straight here, and it goes without saying, I guess, they could certainly use a win.
And how do they get a win? Because they've lost 3 straight, I think it's paramount that they get a fast, clean start to this game.
Meanwhile, for the visitors here, the Chiefs, it's been all systems go in this first month. They're off to a 4-0 start.
And it's got folks believing that this is a team that's built to go all the way. You can't win the Super Bowl in September, but they're telling everyone that they're going to be there in the end.
Now a crease here as he's past the 30. And all in all, a pretty solid return. Nearly got it to the 35. They'll mark him down officially at the 34. So here come the defending champs, led out by the reigning MVP of the National Football League, a 2-time winner now in Patrick Mahomes.
In his stat line last week, that's not going to get him to the Pro Bowl. All right, no touchdowns, no interceptions, but they won. And so the bottom line for him is team won, managed the game effectively, led them to victory. He's doing all the right things.
Throwing at the outset, here's Mahomes. Got a man, that's Richie James. He's across midfield, and he is out of bounds inside the 35. That'll go as a pickup of 32 on the catch and run.
We know play callers can be very creative in this game today, but sometimes when they've got receivers with speed like this, they don't need to design incredibly complex calls. Sometimes it's just get the ball in his hands and let him do his thing. In a sense, less can become more, and it was right there.
Now a 7th-round surprise from a year ago. It's Isaiah Pacheco taken down at the 30. Now, during that run, an injury here. We got one of those big blockers in some discomfort. So as the medical staff takes a look, we'll step aside. Ball on the 30 now. Here's 2nd and 6. Again, it's Pacheco. And all the way in for a Kansas City touchdown. Isaiah Pacheco, his 8th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Chiefs need just 3 plays to go down and take the early lead. Week after week, Charles, when we see this offense operate, I don't know, they just seem to get more impressive.
They certainly do, and let's face it, it's no surprise they're the best in the NFL in scoring. This team designs things well and executes even better. And here, it only takes a few snaps before they're in the end zone. That's how they demoralize teams. That's how they put them on notice.
Extra point by Butker is on target, and that makes the score 7-0. Here's the Chiefs kickoff unit now as they'll send this one away. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. So here are the Vikings set to go to work, and they're led by the leading passer in the NFC a season ago. Now in his 12th year, 6th as a Viking, Kirk Cousins.
And there was a positive in last week's loss. No interceptions thrown by him. But he only threw one touchdown pass, and you know he wants that to improve. He might even consider that as part of the reason that they couldn't take the win last time out. I believe we'll see a more aggressive version of him this week whenever they're nearing the end zone.
And he's taken down, a Chiefs sack. That's George Karlaftis, who fought his way through the line to bury him. And they get to him right out of the gate. And this defense hoping that that's a harbinger of things to come.
Yeah, when you give up a first-play sack, makes your quarterback wonder if he's going to go to the sidelines and talk with his offense coordinator and head coach and say, hey, you know that game plan we put together? We might need to change it right now.
Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on second down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. Meanwhile, Cousins' throw taken in by Hawkinson here. We'll see what kind of mindset they have here offensively after giving up the touchdown on the opening drive.
And based on our time with them, prior to this game, I feel like they've got a good mindset going in. In fact, the discussion that we had with the coaching staff was, we may give up some points in this game, so offense has to be ready each and every time to either equal or try and get us ahead and try and keep us ahead. This is their chance to respond to that first touchdown given up.
Well, the Vikings right now, they've got the passing game working. It's another first down. Cousins. And they're not able to hook up there. Incomplete. He was trying to find Justin Jefferson there. That'll bring up second down. You talk about this Chiefs defense. They really played well a week ago in that win over the Jets.
Yeah, they pitched a shutout in that game, didn't they? And those don't come around all that often in the NFL, the ability to keep someone out of the end.
Left sideline, a dive, and it looks like he's got it. Another good completion on the drive as the Vikings have a first down.
To me, there's nothing like watching rookie effort in the NFL. So excited to be there. They're going to give you the max on each and every play, aren't they?
He proved himself on that catch, that's for sure.
I think he may have proved himself to the point where he's going to get a second here.
So now 1st and 10 in Chiefs territory at the 47. Off the play fake, Cousins. And it's incomplete. Boy, he doesn't drop many like that one. Second down.
Everything looked right on that play except the conclusion. He dropped it. An in route going into a little bit of traffic. Maybe in the back of his mind he was wondering where the hit was going to come from.
Another throw on second down, and this one incomplete as well.
Brandon, we saw these defenders fly into the football in their win last week, and nothing has changed. They're still moving around quickly and forcing incompletions.
On third down, Cousins. And that's complete to K.J. Osborne. And he'll be brought down with a first down as the tackle's made at the Chiefs' 29-yard line. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. Second quarter now from Minnesota. It's the Vikings in possession of the football, as they've got it with a 1st and 10. Throwing, Cousins. And his throw here's incomplete.
And their back's up against the wall a little bit, and they come through by forcing an incompletion. Now they've got to continue to ratchet up the intensity a couple of more times and get off the field before giving up any more yardage.
On second down, here's McBride. Down to about the 22 here. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3.
That's a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
Just a 1-yard pickup there, and it'll be 4th down.
Now, that was a big-time play by the defense. They as well knew where the first down line was, and they didn't let them get anywhere near it.
2 minutes on the clock, second quarter, 7-0 ball game. It would be a very makeable field goal try from here, but instead they're going to go for it. They'll try and run for it. And he picks up the first down yardage as he takes this one down to the 15. They're able to keep the drive alive, 7 yards that time, and the decision to go for it proves to be a good one. Remember, that was 4th and a full 2 yards. There's a big difference between that and 4th and maybe 6 inches or a yard.
Yeah, you're exactly right, because when it's that 6 inches, you just fall forward and you pick it up, right? Just a quarterback sneak. But having to move bodies, that means you actually have to execute because they know what you're going to do. How are you going to make the right play call and get everyone into the right spot and win at the line of scrimmage? That's what they did there.
Cousins to throw it. He's got his man. It's taken in for a Viking touchdown. Jordan Addison, his second touchdown on the season. And the Vikings are on the board here in the final minute of the first half. And a little time left on the clock, so on the other side, they're thinking, gosh, we'd like to get that lead right back.
Yeah, thanks for pointing that out. Here I am going ahead and tapping out the first half.
Well,
there's still time. They've got to make a decision about what they want to do on the kickoff, where they want to let their return guy touch it.
Rodrigo Blankenship now for the PAT. It's up and good, and we're tied at 7 here in quarter number 2. Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away. And we'll see a return here from the end zone. And he'll be brought down at the 28-yard line, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone gets him 3 more. The ball back to the Chiefs and Isaiah Pacheco. Whatever he was doing in September, they're hoping that that carries over now to October because he was sensational last month.
He absolutely was, and we all know where it started at the end of last season, right? All the offseason preparation, the weight workouts, the sprints, right? The vision that he had of what he was going to do this season. And, of course, it all came together with the rest of the team. Those big fellas up front, leverage, and, boy, are they getting downfield and creating extra blocks for them.
They really are. Everyone's been doing their job so far to create those holes. So now they'll come up on 2nd and 10, once again from the 28. On play action, it's Mahomes. That's complete. It's Travis Kelce. A first down there on a pickup of 25. Now a timeout called for by the offense. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. Looking to throw is Mahomes. Past the 20. And all the way in for a Kansas City touchdown. Travis Kelce, 46 yards. And the Chiefs will take the lead here in the final minute of the first half. Boy, Charles, this offense is just so explosive. They lead the league in scoring. And another example of just how good they are right there on that play.
Yeah, we often overstate about how explosive teams are, but this team is truly a threat to score on every snap, especially on the first few plays of any series. And a big streak like that only adds to their reputation as the league's best offense.
Extra point by Butker is on target, and that makes the score 14-7. Here's the Chiefs kickoff unit now as they'll send this one away. And this will not be returned. It'll come out to the 25. The Vikings going to take over now late in this first half. with this slim deficit closing in on the end of the first half. We'll see if they can move this at least into field goal range and try to get 3 out of this drive. Just over 30 seconds to go in the half. They've got it 1st and 10. To throw is Cousins. And the Chiefs are going to get him. Buried by multiple defenders on the drive's first play.
And they're picking up right where they left off with the shutout that they pitched last week. A huge part of that, this pass rush. They know how to get after people.
Offensively, good luck finding some answers right now. Final play of the half, Cousins. And this is going to be incomplete. So we have reached halftime with a touchdown. That's the difference on the scoreboard. As we'll send you down to Orlando, we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thank you very much. More from you, too, in just a bit. But first, let's get everybody caught up with what's going on around the NFL here in Week 5. We'll begin up in the Mile High City. The New York Jets in town to take on Denver. And that game tied 21-all in the second quarter. A lot of offense there. 2 touchdown passes there for Russell Wilson. From there, we take the long trip back across the country, then across the pond. Check out the action in London. And they were victorious in that one over the visiting Jacksonville Jaguars. Josh Allen, 2 touchdown passes as his guys remain unbeaten. Finally, let's get to the desert. Check on the Cardinals at home in Glendale. And they've gone to the half, all even at 14 apiece. Final adjustments being made in the locker rooms. We're just about ready for the second half from Minneapolis. And for the call, let's rejoin Brandon and Charles.
Okay, Coach. Yeah, adjustments likely going to play a big role in this third quarter in what's been a tight contest so far. A 1-touchdown ball game, 14-7 our scores. We get back at it on EA Sports. And we will not see a return to start the half, as this will be a touchback. The Vikings offense set to go to work to begin this third quarter. Charles, it'll be interesting to see what adjustments this offense made in the locker room. Haven't really been able to get anything going offensively, virtually nothing in the ground attack either. So certainly something has to change here in quarter 3.
And I'm pretty sure their friends from the defensive side of the ball told them exactly that, because those guys, the stop troops, they've been playing pretty well. They've kept them around in this game. Now, they got some time. The running game struggled in the first half. Opposition knows how to focus on defending the pass here. They've got to re-energize that ground game and maybe open things up for a comeback here in this half.
Cousins throw pulled in by Jefferson. That his first catch so far. They've held him under wraps, but he's got a first down there.
Well, that was a fun one to watch right there. A nice in-breaking route and plenty of room in the middle of the field. And he was able to get behind the linebackers and grab the completion for a really good pickup.
Cousins now to throw on first down. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete. He's had trouble finding open receivers all game, CD, and that's because really there hasn't been many. This defense has been all over them.
Yeah, they're one of the better defenses in the league, and every time I talk to someone around the NFL, they all say the exact same thing. They're so fundamentally sound, it's hard to execute against them.
And the pressure too much that time as Cousins goes down. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sack.
So one quick, easy analysis about why they've struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in third and long situations. They just took another sack right there.
And the offensive film session tomorrow may be a little longer than it normally is.
Not a lot of positive grades will be handed out thus far.
So now after the sack, Cousins and the Vikings come up here third and long. Looking to throw. Under pressure, they got him again. Multiple players getting home there for an 8-yard loss.
And this dominant defensive performance continued on that play. This poor quarterback, he's not received the protection he needs and has had to pick himself up off the turf far too often.
He punted 3 times in the loss last week as he sends this one away. James now to return. That'll go as a 46-yard punt with a return of 7. And it's Chiefs football. 1st and 10. So here are the Chiefs to take over. They're working on a 4-game winning streak, and they lead this one as well right now as they start 1st and 10. Here's Pacheco to begin the drive. And now off to the races down the right side. And all the way in for a Kansas City touchdown. Isaiah Pacheco, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Chiefs are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead.
Well, I guess when you look back on it, it was just a matter of time until he popped a big one like that. And, you know, at halftime, you and I discussed it. They had done a nice job on him in the first half. But there were a couple of occasions where it felt like he might wiggle out of traffic and take it to the house. Finally here in the second half, that got done.
Extra point by Butker is on target. And it's now 21-7. So they hit pay dirt on just one play. The long run, the scamper, and a very nice scamper into the end zone for the touchdown. And it'll come out to the 25 as he will not attempt to return. And now out comes Minnesota. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
They'll wind up losing 8 on the sack there, and it's 2nd down. This defense, they just continue to feast. 5 sacks now as a unit. It's been quite an afternoon getting to the quarterback.
And we're seeing it come from a variety of places as well. Sometimes just the guys up front getting to them. Other times you add extra guys rushing the quarterback, twists and stunts. It's been a variety, and they've had no way of blocking them.
Now a 2nd down throw for Cousins. Catch is made by Hockenson, the tight end. They get 14 back, but it leads now to a 3rd down.
And that was yardage that they needed there after the sack on 1st down. They didn't get all of it back. But now they look at 3rd down as a manageable situation, one that they have a much better chance of picking up.
So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his 3rd down play as we played 3 quarters. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. And we return, welcoming you back to Minneapolis. It's the Vikings in possession of the football, but they need some points. They're trailing here to start the 4th. Now Cousins. And he will go down outside of the pocket for a sack. Tried to get away, but could not. Desperation time. Cousins on 4th down. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. How about this? He's to the 10. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. Little choice, Charles, but to go for it right there, and that pick 6 will be the icing on the cake.
Yeah, you don't know how many more possessions you're going to get, so really you're almost at the point of no options. Have to go for it. Bottom line, though, is defenders know that as well. They know you've got to throw the football. Had the right defense called, able to make a nice play on the ball, and that's all she wrote.
Butker now to add the extra point. He knocks it through. It's 28-7. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick six. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And this will be a touchback, so they'll bring it out to the 25. And the football going back to the Vikings offense. And you see a lot of frustrated faces as they are inching closer to a fourth straight loss. Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. After the pick six, they go right back to the air. Middle of the field to Jefferson. He'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31. Finding Hockenson here on the out route. And Hockenson going to have the Vikings first down as he's up to the 40-yard line. First down. Here's Cousins. Complete. Jefferson the target. And now following the completion, we're going to get a stoppage here for an injury. Now, the medical staff is going to come out here and take a look, and we will take a short break. Ball placed at the 45 for 2nd and 5. Cousins. And he drops it incomplete, and their struggles continue here.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
He has his target. It's Addison. And he's got enough for the first across midfield to the 48. And he's taken down. A Chiefs sack. They're going to need to get up and set in a hurry. Throwing on 2nd and long. Cousins. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just over a minute to go in the game. Now the hit comes, and Cousins lost the football. And the offense will cover this one up, but they'll be pushed back inside their own 10. And here's Ryan Wright now as he'll punt it away for the second time. James now to return it. Now, a nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And the Chiefs will have excellent field position here as they take over. Well, after he punted that ball, he's probably frustrated that they had a sizable return against his punt, but he made amends by stepping up to make the tackle.
Yeah, he made amends and probably covered a few of his teammates who didn't handle it very well, because once the return breaks like that, you're thinking touchdown, and he prevented it with a nice play.
And he is out of bounds inside the 30. 103 yards rushing for him now to this point. I guess the simple question, why not just take a knee there?
I don't understand either why you would take any sort of a chance. We've seen it happen in the game of football. Doesn't matter whether you've watched high school, college, or the NFL. Some people get a little greedy, try to get that extra running play in, and it can backfire on them.
And he'll be a couple yards shy of the red zone here at the 22-yard line. Now another timeout called for by the offense. That'll leave them with just one remaining in this fourth quarter of play. On 1st and 10, here's Pacheco. And he's out of bounds. Almost gets to the 10. An 11-yard pickup, and it's enough for a Chiefs first down.
Brendan, every great running backs coach I've talked with has always talked about when you have great vision, you're not consciously thinking about your cuts and your moves. You're just doing them. And I think that's what we're seeing tonight. He's about to run them into submission, hasn't he?
You took the words right out of my mouth. I was just going to use that phrase. And he will take it on in for a Chiefs touchdown. Isaiah Pacheco. His third touchdown of the game, number 11 on the year. And the Chiefs are well on their way to a 5-0 start as they extend their lead. Another touchdown here in the fourth quarter, and Charles, I think we can start to consider that this undefeated streak of theirs is going to be safe for another week.
And partner, you don't make it this far into a season without a loss unless you're getting contributions from both sides of the ball and sometimes even your special teams, and that's been true today. Each side helping guide them to this late lead.
Extra point by Butker is on target, and that'll increase their lead to 28. Here's the Chiefs kickoff unit now as they'll send this one away. And no thought to bring this one out. He'll just go down to a knee, and they'll take over at the 25. Minnesota now ready for their next possession. Facing a big fourth quarter deficit here, things not looking good. You know, this offense, though, they've been in the top half of the NFL so far this season, but in this one, well, their defense has really struggled. Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
This has been a rough one, to put it mildly, for them. And after this one's done, you just feel like at the post-game press conference, this team's going to have a lot of questions and definitely not a lot of answers.
Throwing again, Cousins on 2nd and 10. And he wisely will throw that one away. You know, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
Now yet another incompletion here as they fail to connect on third. A misconnection there. He's hit on just 50% of his passes thus far. That's not where you want to be.
Now you see the evolution of the game. You go back to the quarterbacks of old, 50% would be terrific because they threw the ball downfield almost every time they threw it. Now with the short passing game, you should be above 60% just to be in the average range.
And he goes out of bounds just shy of the 45. A good return there, 17 yards. And there'll be time for maybe one final play before we hit triple zeros. Interesting, Mahomes wants to throw it. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. And it's incomplete. Still throwing to the very end, but now this game is over. Well, this was a very close ball game at halftime, Charles, but in the second half, that offense kind of kicked things into another gear, and they were able to pull away for the victory.
And, Brandon, I think they're the type of team that just looked in the mirror and said, hey, ton of pressure on, but we're the type of team that can flat out handle it. They stood up with confidence and made it happen for.
Can I talk my?
Come on.
That other side.
The Oakley way.
Hey.
C5.
Can't nobody do me like I do me. And I don't care to be nobody else cause I'm unique. I'm fine with me. I am God and God is me. Dream so big might die in my sleep. And I ain't running from it. It's only a loss if you ain't learned nothing from it. I turned to a boss. Remember I was under budget. Now I pay the staff off and fly them to another country. It's for the love of the game, never for the love of money. But don't get it twisted. Still clocking big digits. On Rodeo, big spending. All the cribs luxury. I can't recall the last time I did dishes. Big business. All my deals 6 figures and up. When you get it out the mud, it hit different. Used to sell when the cops came, we hit fences. Now I'm blowing smoke out the country with 2 thick. I'ma take them both back to the penthouse and get. That's how it's supposed to be. Life is beautiful, I'm doing won't believe. Flew out to Colombia and brought me home some. Used to be the underdog, now they book me overseas. And I don't wanna be nobody else, nigga. Do me like I do me. And I don't care to be nobody else cause I'm unique. I'm fine with me. I am God and God is me. Dream so big might die in my sleep, but I ain't running from it. It's only a loss if you ain't learned nothing from it. I turned to a boss. Remember I was under budget. Now I pay the staff off and fly them to another country. It's for the love of the game, never for the love of money. I used to wanna be like Wayne. I used to wanna be like Nip with the Cuban link chain. I used to rap like Jay, trying to make me a name. Now all I do is C5. And I'ma stay in my lane. I could do anything I put my mind to, that's facts. I wanna be a so I start. I like so I went on start flipping packs. I heard the drought 3 and said, dog, I'm a rap. I did that, superseded expectation. I refuse to settle for anything less than greatness. I'm the hottest rapper on the West, let's just face it. So put that pride to the side, then let's get paper. Can't nobody do me like I do me. And I don't care to be nobody else, cause I'm unique. I'm fine with me, I am God and God is me. Dream so big, might die in my sleep, but I ain't running from it. It's only a loss if you ain't learned nothing from it. I turned to a boss, remember I was under budget. Now I pay the staff off and fly them to another country. It's for the love of the game, never for the love of money.
Bars, C5, just incredible. Hunger Flow 2.
It's the National Football League on EA Sports. And we'll see Isaiah Pacheco. He's coming off a great week, reaching triple digits in yards with a collection of touchdowns. It's the Chiefs and the Broncos on Thursday night.
From one of the loudest venues in the NFL, there's a look at Arrowhead Stadium here in Kansas City. But tonight, we kick off Week 6 with a great Thursday night matchup, as it'll be the Denver Broncos taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. Hello again, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, we look at this Chiefs ball club. They're off to a terrific start, unbeaten at 5-0 through the first month and change.
And you can hang a lot of this early success on their defense, too. They're the tone setters for these guys, and the entire team feeds off of what they do.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Broncos, they come in feeling good after back-to-back victories.
And going back through the tape, I thought they looked pretty good last week. It was a solid win, a comprehensive win.
Set to go now in Week 6 of the NFL season, and we are underway on EA Sports. And we will not get a run back here to start. It's a touchback, and it will come out to the 25. Well, the Broncos offense gets set to go to work, and at the helm in his second season wearing orange and blue, Russell Wilson.
And you and I both know that any win is a good win, and that's what they did last week. But there was also plenty for him to work on in his game, wasn't there?
Yeah.
2 touchdowns, an interception. Yeah, you know, he wants to increase that a little bit in terms of ratio. But first and foremost, they did win the game.
They'll start on the ground here on first down. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. It's a loss of 4 on that first play, and it's second down.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
Now he's going to swing this one out to his running back. It'll be a gain of just a yard, and that'll make it 3rd and 13. You talk about this Chiefs defense. They were very good a week ago in the win over Minnesota.
When I look back at the stats from last week's game, I thought it was a typo. That was a misprint. It's one thing to hold someone under 100 yards in the game. That's phenomenal. Under 50? Absolutely exceptional.
And he got blown up on that play. Back at the 20. They'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and it'll be 4th down.
Excuse my snarkiness here, but isn't the idea of completing a pass supposed to mean you get downfield and gain yards?
Especially on 3rd down.
Yeah, that one. How about the defense? Figured that one out in a big way. Yeah, they completed it all right and lost yardage.
Here's James returning. It's a 41-yard punt, but just a net of 31 following the run back. And they will take over 1st and 10. But the Chiefs offense now ready to go to work for the first time, led by Patrick Mahomes, the 2018 NFL Most Valuable Player.
There's nothing the league's best quarterback didn't achieve last season. Super Bowl trophy? Check. MVP award? Check. League leader in yards and touchdowns? Check. How does he top the season he had last year? I don't know. But Patrick Mahomes, he usually finds a way.
They run with the second-year man, Isaiah Pacheco. And he's able to get this to the 40-yard line before he's out of bounds. Now, during that run, an injury here. We've got one of those big blockers in some discomfort. We'll step aside and get an update when we return to KC. On first down, Mahomes. He'll get this complete to Kadarius Toney. He's going to go out of bounds, but he takes this one down just shy of the 20. 19 yards that time for number 19.
Tony's Giants tenure lasted less than a season and a half, but KC dealt for the former first-rounder because they feel they can unlock his potential. And he looked pretty good there getting the first down.
Toss right side to Pacheco. And he takes this into the end zone for a Chiefs touchdown. Isaiah Pacheco, his 11th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Chiefs put the night's first points on the board as they take the early lead. One of the keys to their long winning streak has been scoring first. An ideal drive right there, getting the first 6 points of the ball game.
Do you go back to our meeting with the offensive coordinator? Remember what he told us?
Absolutely.
With some teams, I script to probe in the early part of the game. Other teams, I script to attack. They've been in attack mode for these ball games and continue that in this one.
Extra point by Butker is on target, and it's now a 7-0 game. Here's the Chiefs kickoff unit now as they'll send this one away. And Smith not going to bring it out, so it's a touchback. So now the second drive offensively coming up for the Denver Broncos. They're riding a 2-game winning streak into this Thursday nighter. How easy is it when you're on a roll to stay on a roll given the quick turnaround?
Well, you would think it'd be pretty easy because everyone's locked in practice and meetings because everyone feels good about themselves. And for coaches, this is where they have to tell themselves, don't add too much. Don't worry about game plans as much as players. So look at your play sheet and think, give it to the guys who play best, and don't worry about the rest of it.
These are his numbers from last week's contest. 6 catches, 83 yards, and a touchdown.
And the competition gets a little bit tougher here because he's got to go against the #1 ranked defense in the NFL against the pass, the latest incarnation of the no-fly zone.
Throwing again on second down, but this time it's incomplete. Cortland Sutton was the man he was looking for. And now it's third down. You talk about this Chiefs defense. They were very good a week ago in the win over Minnesota.
Anytime you can hold a team to less than 10 points, your expectation of winning that game is sky high. In fact, you'd actually be stunned to come over the loss. That's what you're going to need to do against those big receivers. You got to get in there and get physical with them. That time he got in close, got in tight, and knocked the ball away.
Dixon, the punter, is on as he sends it away. On the return, it's James. Nice punt, but good work on the return to get back 11 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Chiefs offense about set to begin this drive. As mentioned, this one of the hottest teams in the NFL, riding that winning streak into this one, but now playing here on Thursday night. Do you think that this helps or hurts their momentum?
Well, ordinarily, I'd say it hurts the momentum because now you get that short week. But when a team's playing as well as they are, it actually allows them to down focus and only worry about themselves and less about their opponent. So when you're playing well, you just worry about the things you're doing well and let the opponent deal with that.
Shotgun snap to Mahomes. Now that'll be tipped and intercepted. Picked off by Pat Surtain. And the return this time will go out to the 42-yard line. So this defense coming up with a takeaway, and maybe that's something that can bring a little life to that sideline.
Well, I don't want to say that they've been sleepwalking through this first half because that's simply not true, but you're right. We haven't seen a lot of fire from these guys, really on either side of the ball. So maybe that's the catalyst that they needed to get them back into this game.
And Denver getting set to take the field. Still in the first half, but this offense has struggled. Haven't really been able to get anything going, not only in the points category, but in the yards category. We'll see if they can do better here on this drive. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves them with 2 to go on second down.
Well, you admire anyone trying to pick up an additional couple of yards. They're just not worth it when you take shots like that. Quarterbacks have to stay in the game and stay on the field.
One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And he'll get a little over 2, maybe a full 3 down to the 32-yard line.
I think if we put together a job description for a middle linebacker, we would start with being able to hold down things in the middle of the line of scrimmage and be able to take on blockers. But how about the guys who can go sideline to sideline and make plays?
Love a guy that can do that. We saw a perfect example of it right there. Wilson now to throw on 3rd down. And down he goes. They sack him back right around the 41-yard line. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game.
Partner, you know what I'm going to say before I even say it.
Yeah, you just cannot take a sack in that spot.
You're exactly right. You can't take a sack in that spot. Potentially now, a 3-point swing right there.
So now on comes the field goal unit, and wow, this is no ordinary try here. So this will be spotted on the midfield logo. It's a 58-yard attempt. He's got the leg, but it's no good. He missed it right, and this will stay at a 7-point game.
Well, Brandon, anything beyond 50, you start rolling the dice a bit. And once you get up around 57, 58 yards, the chances of making it go down dramatically. And sure enough, this one winds up no good.
Isaiah Pacheco and the offense back out. And we checked the rushing numbers so far here into Week 6, and the returns have been really good. Now, you're starting to hit that stride middle of the season toward the end. They're certainly hoping they can keep up this production.
They are, because one of the adages in the NFL is that defense travels and defense endures even in bad weather, right? You know what else does? A good running game. And people want that, especially as you head down the stretch. You may play outdoors in some nasty stuff. You're trying to get to the playoffs. This is the time to get it going. And individually, I don't think you should just think about 1,000 yards either. The bar has to be set higher with this beginning.
A man who re-signed with the Chiefs back in May. Here's Jerick McKinnon. And he's going to take this one down to about the 23-yard line. The Chiefs will use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. They fake the give. Now Mahomes. Open man. It's the tight end, Kelsey. And in for the Chiefs touchdown. Travis Kelsey with career touchdown number 75. And the Chiefs will extend their lead in the final minute of the half.
And that's certainly an important score right there because they gave themselves a 2-score cushion heading towards halftime. Now you got to force the other team out of their comfort zone, and it changes the way you approach the second half as well. How you want to do things on offense, and your defense feels much better too, having that lead.
Extra point by Butker is on target, and that'll make the score 14-0. Here's the Chiefs kickoff unit now as they'll send this one away. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25. The Broncos going to get one more possession in this first half. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, there's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30. Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 17 seconds to go in this first half of action. And he will have a Broncos first down as he's able to get 8 yards there on 3rd and 5. Wilson will throw again. That'll be incomplete with 9 seconds now showing on the clock. Fair to say, hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either.
Yeah, you nailed it pretty well, you know. He's got to throw it better. Got to get more help. Obviously one that should have been caught. They got to find a way to bring those two.
And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. And this offense going to elect to burn a timeout with 5 seconds remaining in quarter number 2. He's going to float this one deep right side. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. So we come upon halftime with our score 14-0. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, guys, thanks very much. We'll get back with you shortly. But first, let's take a look at what's coming up this weekend around the NFL. Some good-looking matchups on your screen there. One of the best, yeah, I'll say it, it's in Cleveland. A big test there for the Browns, as they'll have to contend with the San Francisco 49ers. Good stuff to follow on the West Coast in the afternoon window, one being out in Las Vegas, where it will be the Raiders taking on the New England Patriots. And then on Monday night, folks, you are in for a treat. They've got a good one lined up between the Dallas Cowboys and the LA Chargers. The final adjustments taking place here for both of these squads. They're about ready for the second half in Kansas City. And for the call, we rejoin Brandon and Charles.
All right, Coach, thank you very much as we welcome you back for quarter number 3. A 2-touchdown game, 14-0 the score as we get rolling again here in this second half. They'll elect to bring it out here from the end zone. And this return will net positive as he gets past the 25 and up to the 27-yard line. So here are the Chiefs to take over. Remember, they're riding that 5-game winning streak, and right now in the driver's seat in this ball game as well. Mahomes will lead the Chiefs up 1st and 10 at their own 27. They'll start the drive here with Pacheco. Taking it right down Broadway. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. 61 yards rushing for him now, just his first 3 carries.
A good rip by Pacheco. And you have to go back to 1990 with Johnny Johnson with the Cardinals to find a rookie 7th rounder with more rushing yards than he had last season. The 251st pick out of Rutgers took over the KC backfield with 830 yards in 2022.
Mahomes now on 1st down. And his throw is going to be incomplete. So, Charles, you look at this offense, and what a start to the season. 5 wins without a loss. When do you think that you start believing that maybe you're in the midst of something special?
Well, you and I both know every head coach never wants that thought to creep into a locker room. But the truth of the matter is, not quite at this time, because if we look at...
And all the way in for a Kansas City touchdown. Kadarius Toney, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Chiefs come right out of the locker room and score here in the opening minute of the 3rd quarter.
As a fan, is there anything prettier than a well-executed post route?
No, it's a thing of beauty, especially when it's done like that for a touchdown.
The throw, the catch, and how about the run after to get it to the end zone?
Extra point by Butker is on target, and that makes the score 21-0. Here's the Chiefs kickoff unit now as they'll send this one away. And Smith chooses not to return it, and they'll bring it out to the 25. So now a look at the Broncos as they head back out there for their first possession of the second half. Wilson and the Broncos now with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Throwing to start the drive. Wilson. Flush to his right. Nothing open downfield. He keeps it himself for 11 and a 1st down.
Fast, slow, it doesn't matter. If you give a quarterback enough room to escape, he can hit you for a big gain. You've got to give him a little more focus moving forward.
On 1st down, they'll go to the ground attack. Now he's able to break through 1 tackle, but it slowed him down enough that he could only manage getting back to the line of scrimmage. Well, thanks for joining us here on a Thursday night in the NFL. 3rd quarter, 2nd and 10 coming up. And they'll keep leaning on the running game. Back to the ground. And again, he's going to be stopped up right at the line of scrimmage. Calling no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a 3rd down. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Now it's Wilson. That's to the rookie, Marvin Mims. And he will have a Broncos 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
I'll give the defensive guys a little bit of credit. They didn't let the deep ball beat them on that play, did they?
No, the drag, that guy can be your safety valve. We saw it right there.
Yeah, and it picked up a 1st down for him, too.
Rolling to his left. He'll get 3 yards on the scramble there. It's 2nd down. 1 quarter remains here in this Thursday night matchup. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. We're back now in KC. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4. From the 47 now, they work with a 2nd and 7. Here's Wilson. A pass for Sutton is intercepted. Picked off by L'Jarius Sneed. And the Chiefs are going to take over at their own 41. This spot in the 4th quarter with that deficit had to throw the football. Unfortunately, there's the risk of big turnover.
And you know you're going to be throwing against nickel, dime, all sorts of exotic defenses, but you have to do it anyway. Ordinarily, you might want to run the football a little bit, try and get them out of it. But as you noted, this time of the game, this point on the clock, had to throw it.
So good starting field position for him here as they come up 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And he'll take it down shy of the 45 at the 46. 74 yards rushing for him now. He's only carried the ball 4 times. I tell you, they didn't give it to him much through the first 3 quarters, but when they have, he's been efficient. Maybe they ride him more here down the stretch.
Yeah, not sure it was actually in the game plan for him to have as few carries as he has, but it might play out really well for them now. As you noted, they want to ride him down the stretch. He should have fresh legs.
And he will be taken down here, but another big gain on the ground to start the drive. This one good for 16, and yet again a 1st down. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Chiefs in possession of the ball as we welcome you back. And the scoreboard on their side, they're just looking to melt away these final couple of minutes and put this one in the left-hand column. Here's Pacheco once again. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. That's good for 21 yards and a 1st down. Hate to be blunt, but it is just continuing to prove to be the case that this O-line is manhandling this D-line right now.
They deserve to roll up their sleeves and show up their biceps because they're doing exactly what you just described, manhandling the defensive front. They've got the leverage, they are powering through, and they're controlling this game.
They'll run here with Pacheco. And he will take it on in for a Chiefs touchdown. Isaiah Pacheco with his 13th touchdown of the year and 2nd of the game. And the Chiefs add on to their lead, and it's looking like that win streak is going to extend another week. Extra point by Butker is on target, and that makes the score 28-0. Here's the Chiefs kickoff unit now as they'll send this one away. And Smith not going to bring it out, so it's a touchback. Denver's offense now set to go. We certainly had a sense coming in here that these guys were in for a tough one on the road. That has been how this ball game has played out. They trail big as we continue on now here in this fourth quarter. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4. You got the big lead defensively, willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just let them bleed the game out that way.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
We've seen this quite a few times in this game. Offensive line unable to keep leverage, unable to keep people away, facing a lot of pressure. Fortunate just to get rid of it.
One of the reasons they're down is that inability, though, to stop. Pressure comes, and Wilson's going to go down. Trent McDuffie able to record his 5th sack of the season.
Let's go ahead and put check marks by it all, partner. No points. Down by 4 touchdowns. Haven't had anything going today on offense. Why not add a late sack to the mix? Obviously a day to forget for all involved. Let's give plenty of credit to this defensive effort. They've been excellent from start to finish.
No choice but to go. Here's 4th down now. Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Mike Edwards picks it off. And his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line. How about one last great play defensively, and that should, for all intents and purposes, finish off this shutout.
That's as good a defensive performance as we've seen in a long, long time. And I know as a team they will celebrate, but I will guarantee you the defensive guys, they'll get together somewhere and have their own private celebration. A shutout, that's something to be cherished.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Mahomes going to throw it here. And incomplete on the deep ball.
I think it's fairly safe to call this game over, but they're still trying to bomb it downfield and add to their lead. Almost makes you start to feel for the defense and root for them a little bit too.
They go play action. Now Mahomes. And this will be caught. We'll forget taking the knee. Some late gamesmanship here as they throw for a late touchdown.
Well, business as usual for them. Well on their way to another victory. Riding a serious wave of momentum from what we've seen. And so far, they haven't met their match. So if you're going to play this team in the future, your mission is clear. You better be ready to play and match their firepower.
Charles, when you look at the stat sheet, you realize that both sides of the ball were so dominant in this game. And on offense, not only did they score it, but they did it through the air as well as on the ground. Everything was working.
And you know that the guys who scored the touchdowns, who contributed that way, that threw them or ran them, they're going to find our cameras have a big grin for them. But I hope our cameras find that offensive line. How versatile were they? Move the ball on the ground, move people so they could run it, and then protected their passers so they could throw it.
Whole club selling out of here to doing stadiums. Gold diggers don't come around, they don't survive my radius. I keep it too real for real, and that's that made me rich. That's what made me rich. Hustling, that's what made me rich. Whole club selling out of here to doing stadiums. Small business don't come around, they don't survive my radius. All I talk about, and that's what really made me rich. Hustling, that's what made me rich. And that's what made me rich. The whole club. My crown way too white to be shooting in the eyes. I'm sleeping good at night, see the door don't got no locks. So despite who she best friends with the ops. And that you need better stocks. Standing on my money, dog, please don't get involved. Ain't nobody running off rules.